Are you thinking about buying a home in Chattanooga, Tennessee? Stay tuned because I'm going to share with you 6 steps to buying a home in the greater Chattanooga, Tennessee area. You know, I'm contacted almost daily by folks just like you who are thinking about moving to the greater Chattanooga, Tennessee area. Many of them are first-time home buyers, and so they're not really sure about the process. I get it. It can be kind of scary. Other folks currently own a home, but it's been so long since they bought one, maybe 10, 20, or even 30 years, and the process and the paperwork have changed so much that they're really unsure about what to do. And it becomes even more confusing and perhaps a little unsettling if folks are thinking about leaving California, Nevada, Illinois, the DC area, Texas, or even Florida, and moving to the volunteer state. I get it. Many clients of mine have done that very thing. In fact, if any of this sounds familiar to you, I want you to know that you're in the right place. I help folks buy and sell homes in the greater Chattanooga area all the time, and I want to help you too. Now, when I speak about the greater Chattanooga, Tennessee area, I'm talking about 3 counties in southeastern Tennessee and 3 in northwest Georgia. The city of Chattanooga is located in Hamilton County, Tennessee. A lot of folks, when they do their research online, will plug in Chattanooga or Chattanooga, Tennessee, and that's perfectly fine, but most likely you're not going to see all the beautiful areas and towns and cities surrounding the city of Chattanooga that might be very interesting to you. So, for example, maybe you would like to live on some acreage near Ringgold, Georgia, or perhaps own a mini farm near Georgetown, Tennessee, or maybe live directly on the lake, say in Soddy Daisy, Tennessee. All of these areas are considered part of the greater Chattanooga, Tennessee area, although none of them are within the city of Chattanooga. So when you think of Chattanooga, Tennessee, think of the greater Chattanooga, Tennessee area. So let's get to it. Here is my how-to guide to buying a home in the greater Chattanooga, Tennessee area. Step number 1. The first thing that you want to do when you're considering any move is to decide where you want to live. Presumably, you've already had a chance to scope out other states or perhaps other areas in Tennessee or Georgia, and you finally settled upon moving to the greater Chattanooga, Tennessee area. That's great. Now, I have had folks to call or text me wanting to see homes in the greater Chattanooga, Tennessee area, but they're still not decided even if they want to live in Tennessee or Georgia. And needless to say, that's kind of like getting the cart before the horse. First, decide where you want to live, then start looking at houses. Once you've made the decision to live in the greater Chattanooga, Tennessee area, you'll want to select, say, 3 to 5 locations, perhaps even neighborhoods, that are most appealing to you. And on this channel, I've got a number of videos of towns and cities and neighborhoods in and near Chattanooga, so check those out after this video. I'll be adding more videos like those in the future. One of the best ways to narrow down your search is to answer the following questions. Do you need to be close to your place of employment? If so, how comfortable are you with driving? Now, some people only want to drive 15 minutes or so to work, while others don't mind driving 45 minutes or even an hour. I know that I never wanted to drive more than 45 minutes to an office, but some people can and do tolerate much more than that. And because we don't have a super great public transportation system, if you have to travel to work, most likely you're going to need to take your own car. On the other hand, maybe your job requires you to fly nationally or internationally, so maybe living near the Chattanooga Municipal Airport might be something you need to consider. Now, I'm not suggesting living directly under the flight path, but what I am suggesting is being close enough to a major highway or freeway so that you can get to the airport quickly. Also, how close do you or your family need to be near hospitals or clinics? How close would you like to be near your child's school or daycare? Or how close would you like to live near your place of worship? Also consider internet connection speeds. Chattanooga has a great 5G network, but you'll want to check out connection speeds that different service providers offer. And keep in mind that sometimes mountains and other natural features do impact service. Here's a tip. Make plans now to visit the greater Chattanooga, Tennessee area. You can do online research. You can look at Zillow.com, Realtor.com, or even my website, RobertCBaker.com, but online research isn't a sufficient substitute for actually being here and getting a feeling for the area. So I always recommend that folks actually make a trip to the greater Chattanooga, Tennessee area. Now, if you're planning to buy, let's say in 6 months to a year, I'll be happy to sit down with you with a coffee, breakfast, or lunch and discuss everything that the greater Chattanooga, Tennessee area has to offer. But if you're planning to buy a home within the next 6 months, that's when we would start making appointments to look at homes. In fact, if you're thinking of moving within the next 6 months, let's go ahead and schedule a FaceTime or Zoom call so that we can get the ball rolling. Say, if you're getting value out of this content, go ahead and hit the like button so that more people will be able to see the video. And be sure to subscribe to the channel for new content. Thank you. Step number 2. After you've decided where you want to live, you want to make sure that you have a team on the ground in the greater Chattanooga, Tennessee area. a team that can serve your real estate needs. If you're planning to buy a home in the greater Chattanooga, Tennessee area, I would encourage you to fill out the buyer intake form on my website, robertcbaker.com. That way you can share with me what your needs and wants are, and I'll be able to serve those needs better. Now, while a real estate agent is an important part of your team, and while I would love to work with you, there's more to your team here in the greater Chattanooga, Tennessee area than just a real estate agent. You also need to have a great lender. Now, if you're in a position to make a cash purchase, you probably don't need the services of a lender, but if you're going to finance your purchase, then you definitely need one. Fortunately, I've had very good success in working closely with a number of professional and very responsive lenders in the greater Chattanooga, Tennessee area, and I'm more than happy to make a few suggestions to you so that you can decide with whom you want to work. Typically, I'll refer at least 3 lenders, and you'll make your decision after you've had a chance to speak with them. And you should know that I don't receive any compensation whatsoever for those referrals, as that would be both unethical and illegal. Now, the first thing that you want to do with your lender is get pre-approved. In fact, getting pre-approved for a loan is essential because most sellers will not take your offer seriously unless it's accompanied with a pre-approval letter, or in the case of cash, a proof of funds letter. So even before you begin looking at properties, if you're planning to finance, get pre-approved. Now, I recommend that you work with a local lender, that is, somebody that's actually situated in the greater Chattanooga, Tennessee area. They don't actually have to work with a local lending institution. Let's say they work with a company having a primary office in another state, but having somebody here locally is very advantageous for 2 reasons. First, many home sellers here in the greater Chattanooga, Tennessee area look at offers differently when there is a local lender involved. They prefer working with buyers who are using the services of someone locally. Second, it's much easier to work with a local lender in my opinion because, quite frankly, it's easier to get in touch with them. Now, my clients have had great experience working with national lenders, even lenders whose primary business is online, but my clients have also experienced slow response times and layers of corporate bureaucracy that have led to unpleasant experiences. The folks that I'll be suggesting to you are folks that I have lunch with or share a coffee or other beverage with and don't mind calling or texting on the weekends. And those types of relationships are extremely valuable and will help serve your needs. Last but certainly not least is another important team member, the title company, specifically the person or persons who are going to work the file, to research the deed and to handle the paperwork so that you can close on your contract on time. I'm able to recommend a number of quality, professional, and responsive local title companies as well. The third step is to nail down what kind of home you want to purchase. Now, you've probably already thought of what kind of home you want. You've probably already been looking at Zillow.com or Realtor.com or maybe my website, robertcbaker.com, and that's perfectly fine, but here I'm asking you to nail that down to be as specific as possible. Do you want a single-family home, a condo, or an apartment, or perhaps a multi-family home? How many bedrooms and bathrooms will you need? Do you need any special features in the kitchen or bath? Say if you have mobility needs. Do you need a certain size of home? And here I'm talking about square footage. Do you need a basement, finished or unfinished, or a mother-in-law suite? Do you need the primary bedroom on the first floor? What about a bonus room? Do you need a large garage, say 21 or more feet in length for a large truck or boat? How about a home office? Some of my clients even want 2 home offices because both spouses work at home. Also, what needs do your children have? Do you prefer a large backyard with plenty of room to play? How about your pets? If your pets stay mainly outside, you'll want to consider a property that has a fence or one upon which a fence could be built. And when it comes to outdoor features, do you like to spend a lot of time outside? So how about a pool, a pergola, or a fire pit? An important question to ask yourself is this: do you want to live in a community with a homeowners association? Some people do because they like the idea of living in a gated community, they enjoy their privacy, they love all the community amenities like a golf course, a community pool, or tennis courts. We've got those communities in Chattanooga. Or perhaps you want a neighborhood with a community fishing pond, or a community lot with fishing docks, a clubhouse, and a boat launch on the Tennessee River or Lake Chickamauga. We've got those communities as well. Or maybe you're more independent and really don't want someone else telling you what kind of paint colors you can use on the exterior of your home, or what kind of fencing you can install, or what kind of flag you can fly in the front of your home. We've got those communities as well. The greater Chattanooga area has dozens of neighborhoods in a variety of price ranges that do have HOAs. Some of the communities, particularly if they're newer communities, are stricter about those things, while older HOAs may be more lenient. And I can help you find and go over the covenants and restrictions of those communities so that you can make your decision based on the facts. The fourth step is to craft a winning offer. Now, nationally and locally, we've seen an uptick not only in the number of listings, but also in the number of price reductions here the first week of August 2022 when compared to last year. And that's really good news. In fact, I just did a video on that, so check it out after this video. However, keep in mind that as of the date of this video, this is still a seller's market. Cash is still king, and as long as price and other terms and conditions of the contract are satisfactory to a seller, a cash offer is going to rise to the top and most likely is going to be the one that is selected by sellers. That said, it's not always the cash offer, it's not always the highest offer that will actually win. Bear in mind that most sellers are going to be looking not only at the offer price, but also at the contingencies within the offer. So for example, if you have a home to sell, in order to make your purchase, your home needs to be listed and under contract. Naturally, the fewer contingencies your offer has, the better. Now, as we move into a more balanced market, sellers are going to have to pay attention to contingencies and accept offers with them. Super attractive properties that have no issues, no flaws, are in a great location are still going to receive multiple offers, and those situations still are going to be competitive for buyers. But if you're a buyer, the shifting of the local real estate market is good news. In fact, if you as a buyer can financially handle the higher mortgage interest rates we're seeing, it's an excellent time for you to buy, and for the following reasons. First, as I mentioned, we're seeing more and more inventory come onto the market. There are more homes for sale, so you'll have more to choose from. Second, sellers are reducing their prices. Sellers know that the market is changing and they're having to adjust their expectations. And third, here at the 1st of August 2022, some folks are now predicting that we're actually going to see a decline in mortgage interest rates. And that might become more of a thing if we enter into a recession. Even if current mortgage interest rates remain about the same, you still could buy a home now and refinance your home in the future when rates go down. Make sense? Step 5 is to offer the right price. Now, just like other components in your offer, the price is going to depend on a number of features, and at the end of the day, homes that are priced appropriately in the greater Chattanooga, Tennessee area and are in excellent condition are going to sell quickly. Here at the 1st of August 2022, nearly 40% will sell over asking price. You have to remember that this is still a seller's market, and you're going to have to make your first offer your best offer. Now, it is true that just like other areas in the country, we are seeing the market slow down a bit in Chattanooga, and we are seeing an uptick in price reductions, but in my opinion, those homes having a price reduction were overpriced to begin with. Perhaps it was speculation from the seller side. So if you want to increase the likelihood that your offer will be accepted, you'll have to make your first offer your best offer. Now, please give me a call or text if you have a particular property in mind, and I'll be happy to go through the numbers with you. We'll take a look at recent comps, how long the property has been on the market, make a visual inspection of the property, go over the cost of possible repairs, and so on. And I will be happy to provide you with an offer range because I do look at the numbers and I want to give you the information that you need so that you can make a wise financial decision for you and your family. In this market, sellers are reducing their prices, but keep in mind when a seller makes a price reduction, that's not the time to make a lowball offer. Unfortunately, I've seen some folks do that and it never works out. Rather, take that reduced price into consideration, look at the comps, days on market, and think about possible repairs, and then based on all those factors, make an offer. The 6th step is to follow the process until closing. So you've made your offer. What's next? If your offer is accepted, then you'll submit your earnest money deposit. You'll also apply for the loan, pay for your credit report, and set up inspections. If the inspections reveal anything negative, that would be the time to negotiate with the seller on repairing or replacing items. Now, sometimes the best option is simply to revisit the price. Here, you really need somebody on your side to help guide you through the process so that your interests are best served. Now, I will work with you throughout the whole process, as well as your lender and the title company, to make sure that the process is as seamless and trouble-free as possible. If everyone is acting in good faith, and we assume that they will be, in the overwhelming majority of instances, problems can be resolved. The lender will set up the appraisal, which typically occurs about a few weeks before closing, and the title company will go ahead and research your title to make sure that you have a clear title. Now, just as takeoff and landing are statistically more dangerous than any other part of an air flight, inspections and appraisals are the times that, if an offer is going to fall apart, it may fall apart. However, if you pass inspections and the appraisal and there are no other issues, you are basically just waiting for the lender's underwriter to give the clear to close. And then the title company will transfer title from the seller to you, you'll get your keys, and you've got your new home and your new life in the greater Chattanooga, Tennessee area. Want to know why everyone is moving to the greater Chattanooga, Tennessee area? Watch this video next.